Hello and welcome to ISTQB Foundation Level Tips and Tricks, Session 3, Keywords and Learning Objective. In the first sessions we already discussed 3 tips how to find correct answer during the exam. After all, we began to build an algorithm to finding the correct answer. Today we continue with these 3 tips and discuss a tricky question. But let's start with our algorithm and repeat first tips. Tip 1, read the question carefully. Tip 2, match the question with corresponding learning objective. Tip 3, pay attention to the keywords. So now look at the example. It's a tricky question, but again we have 3 ways how to solve this question. And in this session we discuss these 3 ways. So an e-commerce company developed a site for their business under tight schedules. Without following the process through e-commerce experienced designers and testers, it has been done. Hence, there is no documentation activity in this project. A tester is well experienced in testing the e-commerce websites. Now he has been called for a contract to test the new application, which is under testing phases. The main objective is to identify the defects for fixing. Now, as an experienced tester, what he should do? A. The tester needs to create high-level list. B. Tester needs to create detailed test cases that will expose the failures and the defects that caused them. C. Tester needs to start the test analysis and design activities. D. The tester needs to review the code to get the test specification. Now look to the answer. First, read the question carefully and highlight keywords. So we have some keywords, and these are tight schedules, experienced designers and developers, no documentation, tester is well experienced, identify defects for fixing. Now start with the explanation. As we know, if the question says that in your project there is a high time pressure, the documentation is poor and the testers are experienced, this clearly indicates to the experience-based test techniques. As we see, we have 2 answers related to the experience-based test techniques. Answer A is about checklist-based testing and answer B is error guessing. Now back to our question. We don't have any documentation to write detailed test cases. That means answer B is not correct. Answer A is correct according to the glossary and the syllabus. Let's look at the ISTQB glossary. What is a checklist-based testing? It's experience-based test technique whereby experienced tester uses a high-level list of items to be noted, checked or remembered, or a set of rules or criteria against which a product has to be verified. Now look at the syllabus section 4.4.3, checklist-based testing. In checklist-based testing, testers design, implement, and execute tests to cover test conditions found in a checklist. As part of analysis, tester create a new checklist or expand an existing checklist. But tester may also use an existing checklist without modification. Such checklists can be built based on experience, knowledge about what is important for the user, or an understanding of why and how software fails. In the absence of detailed test cases, checklist-based testing can provide guidelines and a degree of consistency. As these are high-level lists, some variability in the actual testing is likely to occur. resulting in a potentially greater coverage but less repeatability. Hence, as we see, correct answer is A according to the glossary and the syllabus. So if you don't remember the syllabus by heart, so look at the keywords. These are under TIE schedulers, experienced designers and developers, no documentation, tester is well experienced. Again, these keywords can indicate that the preferable test strategy is to use experience-based test techniques. We have only A and B related to the experience-based test techniques. Answer A, as we mentioned before, is about checklist-based testing, and answer B is error guessing. During checklist-based testing, tester creates or modifies checklists, and checklist is equal high-level list or high-level test. And we have goal according to the question. The main objective is to identify the defects for fixing, but we have no documentation to create detailed test cases. That means that we can create a high-level list or high-level test case only. Hence, the correct answer is A. Now to exclusion methods. Answer B. Tester needs to create detailed test cases that will expose the failures and the defects that caused them. It's not correct because there are no documentation in the project to create detailed test cases. The site was built without following the process through e-commerce experienced designers and developers. C. Tester needs to start the test analysis and design activities. Is not correct because the new application is under testing phases, that mean execution phase. The main objective is to identify the defects for fixing, that mean also execution phase. After all, we have no documentation which we can analyze as test basis during test analysis and test design activities. D. The tester needs to review the code to get the test specification. Is not correct because first it's a developer's activity. Second, our goal is to find defects and not to get test specification. Hence, again, correct answer A. So it's all for today. Thank you for attention and see you at next sessions. For more questions, you can see my Instagram.